Welcome to Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services in Eastland, Texas. Tune in every week as we share important information to help you and your family live life on purpose. Insurance, investments, legacy and tax planning, and much more. All covered now on Life Planning 101.
Welcome into Life Planning 101. My name is Angela Robinson with Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services out of the metropolis of Eastland, Texas. It is 2025. Can you believe it? I was just on an interview with a lady that's looking to come to work with us and had to think about how long I've been in this business and realized that it's almost been 20 years. And then I started to realize, oh my goodness, how fast time flies. And what does that have to do with anything today? Well, it has everything to do with anything today because we always are talking about money, but really money equals time, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Isn't that what they tell us? Well, it does. It does because sometimes, too often times, we're looking at money for what it is for, and we end up living for our money. Just a couple weeks ago, we actually coined an article, did a podcast over how do I live my best life. If you haven't heard that, I want you to pause right now and I want you to go back and I want you to listen to that or read that because it's going to be very important for the things that we're going to go through today. And as I promised at that time, I said, we're going to spend January really looking about purposing your money and making sure that you're living life on purpose and your money is serving that plan. Because I think too often, we focus on it. And look, before I get into this, I'm not going to say that any of these things are not important. They are, okay? We focus on what the money is for. We focus on the numbers, the targets, the risk, the time horizon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a lot of hype around that. I mean, I could only imagine. I should have looked it up. How many podcasts are created around what's going on in our markets or what do I need to be investing in or the latest and greatest on this or this is how you make money or yada, 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 yada. And all of that is very important. Or how do I protect my money? How do I create asset protection? Those are things that we address on a day in, day out basis. But the problem is that if that's where you start when it comes to money, you're really messing up. Big time. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the deal. If that's what we did, if that's all we did, everybody could go in the same cookie cutter style cutout because everyone wants their money to grow and they want to protect it. I haven't met anyone that doesn't have those goals. Well, to me, those really aren't goals. That's what money is supposed to do if it's managed correctly. If it's managed correctly, it should be managed with the purpose to grow. It should be managed with the purpose to protect it. So I don't want to discredit any of that. That is very, very, very important and has a place in every single financial plan. All of those things you talk about, from insurance to returns to investments to beta to alpha to, Sharpe ratio and all those if you want to get really technical. But I have a question for you, I think that you haven't heard when it comes to your financial planning, yet it might be the most important question when it comes to your financial planning. Can you articulate why you want to build your wealth and protect it? I didn't say, why do you want to build your wealth and protect it? I said, can you articulate it? In other words, do you know without a shadow of a doubt, have you nailed down, have you actually sat and wrote out, made sure that actually serves the purpose of what you want your wealth to be doing for you? We have wrote several articles over the years about, not looking at the money for what it is, looking at it for what it's for. Are you here to serve your money or is your money here to serve you? All of those things are very, very, very important. And you need to take it to heart. You need to take it to heart because if you don't take it to heart, one day you're going to look up and you're going to go, oh my gosh, why have I lived in fear all this time just about money? Why have I been so stressed all this time just about money? Why have I been just working my tail off? And at the end of the day, I've lost my health over it. I've lost my energy over it. I've lost my family over it. These are real things. Maybe the heck, Hollywood makes movies about this stuff, right? They really do. And yet we just allow it to happen in our lives nonchalantly And I say nonchalantly because it just happens. It just happens. You build obligations in your life and you have to fund those obligations. And those obligations funded means equation, more work, more money. And then you get to a problem that you have so much money that Uncle Sam wants his piece of that money. And how do you protect that money? Or the person that you accidentally ran over on their bike or that ran into you, they want a piece of that money. And how do you protect that money? And then you've got those issues. And then you've got the issues of, oh my gosh, well, I've earned all these dollars and they're not keeping up with this increasingly crazy inflation that we've been having over all these years. You have all these complex issues, and those are all extremely, extremely important. So why the heck are you doing it? I can't tell you how many times that I have heard people say something to the effect of, you know what, it'd be easier to not have money. And of course, they chuckle and say, well, maybe not. But the reality is sometimes it sure as heck might be easier not to have money because money creates complexity. The attainment of money creates complexity. The not having enough money creates complexity. It's all complex. And so I'm going to ask you again, can you articulate why you want to build your wealth and protect it? Can you describe the ultimate purpose for your finances? Why exactly, why in the world do you give any focus towards money? And I want you to really think about that question. And I don't want you just to answer it, well, it provides for my family. Well, why? Why is it important that it provides for your family? Well, it puts food on their table and a home on their head and they have warmth. And if we have a problem, we can solve it. But why is that important? I want you to keep digging. Why can you articulate why this is so important that you put so much effort into your money on a day-to-day basis? I want to read you a funny story. And I say it's a funny story. It's a letter to God, but it is a funny story. And it's a funny story about an old lady who has no money. And she talks about this man that worked in a post office, and his job was to process all the mail that had illegible addresses. And one day, a letter came to his desk, and addressed in a shaky handwriting to God. He thought, I better open this one and see what it's all about. So he opened it, and he read it. And it said, Dear God, I'm an 83-year-old widow living on a very small pension. Yesterday, someone stole my purse. It had $100 in it, which is all the money I have until my next pension check. Next Sunday is Mother's Day, and I've invited at least 2 friends over for dinner. Without that money, I have nothing to buy food with. I have no family to turn to, and my only hope is you. Can you please help me? Well, the postal worker was so touched that he actually went around showing the letter to everyone else, and everyone that he showed it to, each of them dug in their wallet and came up with a few dollars here and there. And by the time he made the rounds, he collected $96. And so he put it into an envelope and he sent it back to her. And the rest of all that day, all the workers that he went around to, they glowed with warmth, thinking of the nice thing they'd done. Well, Mother's Day came around and it went. And a few days later, here comes another letter from that old lady to God. And all the workers gathered around while the letter was open, and it read, Dear God, how can I ever thank you enough for what you did for me? Because of your generosity, I was able to fix a lovely dinner for all of my friends. We had a very nice day, and I told my friends of your wonderful gift. By the way, there was $4 missing. It was no doubt those thieving bastards at the post office. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And I think the reason I love it is because, it's just depicts for that widow. The money wasn't about the money. The money was about being able to have those friends over on that Mother's Day. And, a few weeks ago, we pinned an article, How Do I Live My Best Life? And I mentioned this at the beginning of Life Planning 101 today. Be sure to go find it, www.kennedy-financial.com. It's really good. It gives you some incredible exercises in there. I talk about them on the podcast, but they're actually written in the article. The whole goal of this, the premises behind this, was to help you think about your thinking and to help you build clarity around your core values so they can sit firmly in your driver's seat of life. Okay? In other words here, Every time you make a decision, it doesn't matter what it's about. These are the values that should stand as a foundation for that decision. And the very least of those decisions that you're facing should be about money. Your core values have everything to do with your money. I hate to tell you that, but they certainly do. Haven't you heard the saying, put your money where your mouth is? Right? So the problem is most people don't live that way. And I don't think that it's not like you do that on purpose. It just happens. So I want to challenge you. Put your money where your mouth is. But your mouth has to declare what those core values are in your life. And they are going to be very different from someone else. And they need to be crystal clear. So, I look at this and I think about what we mentioned at the beginning. Too many people living for their money. Maybe it's keeping up with the Joneses. Maybe it's living so tight your whole life that you don't even enjoy the ride. And before you look up, you're sick and you can't enjoy the ride. Maybe it's just not knowing what you don't know and you're asking your neighbor for advice and you're scared to death all the time and filled with anxiety. And at the end of the day, everything bad does happen. Well, the truth is that your money is for you. Bingo. Yes, it's here to help you serve your purpose in life, not the other way around. You're not here to serve your money. Now, that purpose is different for everyone. There's no stinking doubt about that, right? We're all God-inspired beings, and every single one of us has a purpose in life. If you're alive, you have a purpose. That's just what it is. So that money is here to help serve you, and you should have a plan for your money that focuses on that purpose. And this is the funny thing. No matter what that purpose is, no matter how different your plan is for somebody else, the plan does look alike in some ways. It looks alike because of this. It contains 3 components. Number 1, those well-defined core values that we talked about. Number 2, a written statement of financial purpose. Now, this is something we haven't talked about. A written statement of financial purpose. Why is this important? Well, this kind of takes those core values and it puts it on steroids, highlights it, exclamation point, and puts it at the front of every single decision you make financially. And it begins like this. Money's purpose in my life is to. You fill in the blank. Money's purpose in our life is to. You fill in the blank. Imagine making decisions with that front and center. How crystal clear would some decisions become? If you're still stuck, I consider reading another little piece that we wrote many years ago. I actually looked this up. I think it was 2015. We recycled it a few times. It's called Unacceptable Regrets. What do you not want to regret in life? Get off of money again for a minute, and then you can go back and determine what money's purpose is in your life. So you have these well-defined core values. You have this written statement of financial purpose. And the third component, well, it's a purpose-filled financial plan. Not a financial plan that simply focuses on a set of goals. I want to go to college. I want to send my kids to college. I want to get married. I want to make sure that if I die, they're taken care of. If I want to be retired, and this is when I would be retired, and this is the type of lifestyle I'd like to have in retirement, and this is the amount of money I need to be saving to do, and this is what interest rate or what I need to be earning on that money with compound interest, and these are all the what ifs that need to address that. I don't disagree that all those things are very, 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 very important, but the problem with that plan is that just looks like every single other person's plan in life because somebody told you that should be your plan. Your plan is that written statement of financial purpose. Your plan is centered around those core values. And yes, you still have to have goals. Yes, you still have to have targets. Yes, you still have to look at returns on your money and risk. And all of those things are very, very important and discuss how to protect your assets and protect from those big what ifs of life. I don't discredit any of that. Not even an ounce. But it does no good if there's no heart in that plan. You want to know why? It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. I've seen it time and time again. People get a great financial plan. You know how much they follow it? Hardly at all. You know why that is? Because they don't have the heart for it. And the funny thing is that the time a financial plan tends to work is around a retirement after leaving a situation that you're so burnt out from that you're desperate for something new. What's that tell us? Well, that tells us that there's a lot of motivation behind that. So why not be motivated at any time when it comes to your money? Why are you just waiting until something happens that you're really motivated? It shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't live that way. You shouldn't plan that way. If you have both well-defined core values and a statement of financial purpose in place, and all you lack is that purpose financial plan, well, that's what we do best. We are a life planning firm, and our mission is to help people live life on purpose, both by building those plans and helping implement those purpose-filled financial plans. Life is too short to live it serving your money. So don't! That's the bottom line. Don't! Make a commitment that your money will be here to serve you, and get your 3-step life plan in place today, this year, 2025. Carpe diem. My name is Angela Robinson with Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services. God bless you. Have a great week, and be sure to join us right here again next week on Life Planning 101.
Thank you for joining us for Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services. If you have questions, you can email them to lifeplanning@kennedy-financial.com. Don't forget to learn how our sister company can assist you with all of your tax and consulting needs. You can find out more at briscoeandassociates.com. Be sure to tune in next week for more Life Planning 101. The opinions expressed herein are those of the firm and are subject to change without notice. The opinions referenced are as of the date of publication and are subject to change due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass. Any opinions, projections, or forward-looking statements expressed herein are solely those of the author, may differ from the views or opinions expressed by other areas of the firm, and are only for general informational purposes as of the date indicated. Securities offered through Calton & Associates Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Smart Money Group LLC. Kennedy Financial Services and Smart Money Group LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by Calton & Associates Incorporated.